Let's now bring in CTV News infectious disease specialist Dr. Abdu Sharkawy in the conversation. He joins us now from Toronto. Doctor, good to see you again. Thank you for making the time.
Good evening, Akshay.
So the new strain of the coronavirus is here. First 2 cases reported in Ontario. How are you assessing the situation?
Well, this is not a surprise. I think this was inevitable, and understanding the realities of modern travel, as long as people were traveling outside of the UK and other countries within which this new strain has been identified, there's going to be cases pretty much worldwide. I think that we need to wrap our heads around that reality. I think the horse is out of the barn. And if anything, I think this is a real reminder to everyone that it's critical to maintain protocols when it comes to quarantining after international travel. And it's even more critical that within our own communities, even if you're not traveling, to be that much more cautious when it comes to staying home, limiting your contacts, masking, and really only doing things that are essential, because this is likely going to be something we're identifying much more frequently across Canada and, in fact, around the world over the next few weeks.
You know, I just want to go back a little bit, Doctor. The UK said that they discovered this virus end of September, but they've only confirmed it mid-December. We're talking about a period of at least 2.5, 3 months in the middle where flights have been coming back and forth between Canada and the UK. Now, these 2 individuals in particular have no travel history or having any high risk of exposure. My question to you is, doesn't that raise a big concern from where they picked up the virus and now how many others need to be traced?
Oh, most certainly. I mean, this tells you that there was a lapse in protocol somewhere along the lines where someone was not doing what they're supposed to be doing, whether that was a traveler who likely didn't quarantine for the mandated 14-day period, or someone else that they were in contact with thereafter who acquired the infection. So this highlights the importance of maintaining our public health measures. I think it's going to draw greater attention to border controls and how we're going to manage people who are traveling, both inbound and outbound. And again, it speaks to the importance of just not taking any chances. This virus is invisible. It's very difficult to see. People are not symptomatic all the time when it is transmitted. So we've got to be extra careful and extra vigilant about following public health advice, not to invite more danger.
And while we have to be extra more vigilant and careful, like you're saying, Doctor, are current testing methods enough to detect this new variant, especially now with the strain here, or do we have to up our testing and tracing game?
Well, we definitely have to up our testing and tracing game. That goes without saying, even before we identified this new strain. But that being said, there's going to be some struggle ahead before enough people are vaccinated, where I think we're going to need rapid testing, never mind a test that can identify a variant strain, just the test that can identify the circulating strain of COVID-19 that is prevalent across the country. We need to have a way to identify this early and often to prevent people from spreading this when they're going to work and going to school, etc. I think that's really the game changer that we're looking for over the next couple of months.
You know, this is a new strain we're speaking of from the UK, Doctor. What's the possibility of the virus mutating further? We already have some news about another strain in Nigeria, as I was discussing and reading. What's your take? How many such mutations can happen, and can we prevent that with the current vaccine?
Well, it's a good question, and we can't say for certain. All we can say is our experience from mutations with similar coronaviruses, both the original SARS coronavirus and the MERS virus, in addition to the D6G14 mutation, which was talked about widely in the first wave, has shown that our vaccines can still be quite protective, has shown that the antibody response is still quite reasonable. I'm not too terribly alarmed that that will change, even with further mutations. But again, it comes down to our best defense, which is do what we're supposed to be doing, avoiding contact. This virus can't transmit itself without us being in close contact with each other. It doesn't matter how many times it mutates. So let's work on what we can control and keep our destiny within our own hands.
And that's why we're looking at a lockdown. Ontario has entered a lockdown now, and we've been reporting over 2,000 cases over the last 12 days. Doctor, how hopeful are you that this lockdown will have its impact in bringing down the numbers and then again, of course, containing the spread of this new strain?
I think a lockdown is only as useful as the adherence that people take to it. And that means that you don't bend the rules. You don't try and cheat. I'm still quite concerned that a lot of people are frustrated with this, that they want this to go away, and it won't. I think that we're going to need a good 4 to 6 weeks to start seeing the impact of that happening. Hopefully, if we get a fair number of Canadians vaccinated during that period of time and we get a better adherence to public health messaging, we will start to see some impact. We'll start flattening the curve and hopefully see our way towards more hope going through the rest of this pandemic.
We always appreciate those insights. And thank you for taking out the time once again. CTV News infectious disease specialist, Dr. Abdu Sharkawy, appreciate it.
Thank you. Stay safe.